To Reverend Thomas Cookson, stop. 3 lads from our parish in recent engagement, stop. All known to us, stop. Cummings, stop. Cleasby, stop. Melling, stop. Returning on leave, so we'll bring word personally. Stop. Least I can do. Stop.
Dearest Mother, a few lines in reply to your letter which I received last week.
Dear Mother, thanks for yours. I'm glad Jenny's on the mend.
Dear Ma, we've advanced 3 miles in the last month, and now we have to speak in whisper. The enemy are so close.
I'll just go wait on the platform, shall I? I'll wait on the platform.
Not long now.
You want to know? One way or t'other.
Let's see to those sandwiches.
Send my love to Dad. As soon as I get back, we'll go and see North End lose again. You see looks on your mates' faces you don't see back home. It's a blindfold look.
Say hello to Dolly Farmer for me. I've been thinking a lot about her. She's a sweet girl, Mum. I think you'd like her if you got to know her.
We're getting quite settled here, and I'm getting used to the booming of Fritz's guns. I expect there'll be cowslips on the path across from the church.
Why couldn't they have just sent another telegram? That's what I'd like to know.
He's Joe Cotton's boy. He's captain now and he wanted to. Well, you know, it's more personal, like.
Good of him to make the effort.
At least the waiting will be over.
Better knowing than not.
Well, that depends, doesn't it?
If it's him, if it's my Joseph, then I'd be proud. He's done his bit for king and country. He calleth his sheep by name, and if he's been called, then it's God's will.
Well, I know our Alf's all right.
How do you know?
That Terry, the butcher's delivery boy, he's got a brother at the front. And his brother writes home and says how he saw our Alf one day after the push and he...
I'll go and fetch some more crockery, shall I?
It's just next door. Ask Mrs. Carver to show you. Now see what you've done. Selfish, that's what you are. Selfish to the core. Always thinking of yourself.
I was just saying.
Well, don't. Can't you see if your Alf's all right, then it's...
Thanks.
It's Tom, isn't it? You a boy.
Thomas.
You haven't said naught about him.
What's there to say? He's my son and I love him. I just wish he was at home now.
Mr. Melling, no?
He wanted to come with me to meet the train, but I didn't want that. I told him it were tomorrow.
Why ever would you do that?
I don't know. I just knew I didn't want him here. For his sake. And mine. What about you?
Billy's been dead these 7 years and Alf's dad to the little ones. Have you talked to your Reg about it?
Of course I have.
What did he say?
What he always says, nothing. Wouldn't know a bee from a bull's foot, that one.
Well, he must have said something.
Must he?
He was talking about your Joseph the other day in the 4L bar and he dotes on that boy.
Why don't you just keep your nose out?
Very sorry, I'm sure. Yeah. Run it under the sink, come on. There's lint in the cupboard, Mrs. Cleesby, and iodine. Sorry, I'm such a nuisance.
Here, pass it here. Will you see to the rest of the sandwiches?
Do you know what I miss most? Apart from you, of course, Mother. We're in pyjamas. Does that sound silly? And a few hot baths are in order. I'm scared, Mum. There are men dying all around me. I'm scared.
Thanks. Do me a favour, Ma. Ask Dad if he remembers wind in his face coming down Lupton Hill on his back. I think about those days a lot. I remember we used to walk on Crag in Rainbow. It weren't as cold as this.
I wish you could see me in me tin hat and gas mask, Mum.
Gas! Gas!
You'd all have a good laugh. When I'm marching, it jiggles all over at shop. I've a job to keep the thing from falling off.
Have you talked to him yet? Who? Reverend Coxon. Well, what did he say?
I have to put my trust in God.
Aye. Yeah, he said the same thing to me. And I warrant he said the same thing to Betty and all. Now, the way I figure it, God's got to let one of us down.
I don't see it that way.
No.
I'm sorry.
Doesn't matter.
I want to say something. How are we going to...
How do you mean?
When we know who it is,
Well, there's biscuits in the Powell's tin and...
what are we going to do? You know, what I ask myself, I keep thinking, is this why I brought him into the world? Such pain. I remember the pains. But it was nothing, nothing like this. Is this why I nursed him at my breast, why I picked him up and wiped away his tears when he fell? So that he could be taken from me and thrown to the German guns. And for what?
Mrs. Melling.
You talk about duty and honour and glory. All of those things. Men's words.
Would you like to join me in a short prayer? Almighty and everlasting Father, by whose grace thy servants are enabled...
No need to look out for me, Mum. You'll hear me whistling from halfway down Blackpool Road. I'll have to close now, as I haven't really much more to say just at present. Hoping you are well. Your loving son, Alf.
The shelling is about the worst I've known. And the crying of the wounded and the dying, such as I'll never forget. God bless you, Mum. I'll close now and pray that this is not the last letter I ever send to you. Your loving son, Joe.
Queerest thing. Last night I heard a nightingale sing. I thought I were dreaming, but others heard it too. It must have got lost. And now it lives in this place. Send my love to Dad. I embrace you both. Thomas.
He was out at the working party in No Man's Land when... I'm sorry. Some of the lads went back the next night to bury him and put up a cross. It's just a rough thing, really. Mark where he is. This is his... He was shot in the side. Bullet pierced the prayer book. And his heart.
You don't have to carry on, Mary. You should go home to your husband and mourn your son.
You don't understand. These are all my sons.